having a theoretical knowledge of philosophy is a good start, but the goal of getting that theoretical knowledge is to practice accordingly and then attain the experience of that thing. And the true knowledge is actually experience. So that means attaining God, experiencing God. This is a true guru, a true Mahapurush has attained God and also has the philosophical knowledge and uses that to explain it to the souls like us who need to understand about God and the path to God. So with such a teacher, we can correctly learn the philosophy of Gita or any other scripture. So although I am neither Jnanina nor Tattva-darshina, but I've learned Gita from someone who is, so based on that, I'm trying my best during this class to pass that on to you. And if you ever get the chance, you can also, listen directly from him. Why do we need a teacher? Mainly, other than the obvious fact that you can't just read it and understand correctly on your own. You need someone to help you understand the subtleties of it and how to practically apply that. But it's also about humbleness. You see, true spiritual knowledge leads to humbleness. And normally when we study something on our own, the opposite happens. We get a pride of knowing that thing, of having learned that thing. So if learning any scripture gives us a pride, then it means we haven't gained real knowledge. We've maybe gained some theory in our mind, but we've actually gone the opposite way we're supposed to. Correct knowledge is supposed to lead to humbleness, which leads to God. And just an intellectual knowledge that someone gains on their own that develops more pride of knowing, that's actually taking us away from God. Because we're not going to attain God through knowing anything. We attain God through surrendering to Him, through faith and through humble surrender. So if we have a pride of knowing something yet we haven't even attained God yet, then what are we proud of? And that pride is going to prevent us from surrendering to God. Maybe before someone studied the Gita, they used to cry tears before God. And then, I'm just saying, it's possible, hypothetically, someone may have studied the Gita and gained a pride that now I know Gita. And now they're not crying tears before God because they feel they know something. So they've gone farther away from God. It means that my goal this week is not to give you a pride that you know Gita. If any of us here knew the Gita, we'd be God realized. You see, Arjun heard Gita from Krishna, he surrendered to Krishna, and he got God realization. So it means Arjun he truly practiced the teachings of the Gita. So until we become God realized, we should never be under the false impression that we know Gita. If we knew Gita, we'd be God realized. But we can take that knowledge and apply it in our life and try to work towards God realization. So that's the qualification to study Gita, is to be faithful towards Krishna, humble in our approach to the knowledge, knowing that we really don't know anything until we've found God. But we can use this knowledge humbly to approach God, not through our pride of knowing, but by using that knowledge to become more surrendered to God. So now we come to the second chapter, where Arjun says to Krishna, Karparnya dosho. Says, my mind is so vikchipt. Pahatasva bhava prichhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta. Says Krishna, I'm turning to you because my mind is totally confused about what is right and what is wrong, what is dharma and what is adharma. Yat shreya syan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. I am your disciple, I am your surrendered disciple, so you please instruct me on what I should do. But, na yotsya iti govindam. But I won't fight the war. So on one hand, Arjuna is saying, Krishna, I'm surrendered to you, you tell me what to do. And on the other hand, he's saying, but I won't fight the war. So it's like we were saying yesterday, Arjuna isn't fully ready yet to accept what Krishna is telling him. Otherwise, it would have been one sentence. Arjuna, fight the war. And end of Gita. But he wasn't fully surrendered, so Krishna had to explain throughout the whole Gita to him. He's partially surrendered to Krishna. He's willing to listen. He's willing to accept that he may be wrong. But he's also expressing his own opinion and he's expressing his preference not to fight the war. But he's still open to hear what Krishna has to say. So that's once all of this has been established, then Shri Krishna starts speaking to Arjuna. Natvevaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadhipa. Krishna starts by saying, Arjuna, me, you, all of these people, all of this world, we have been here forever and we will always be here. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. This is the Sankhya explanation in the Gita where Krishna tells Arjuna, you can't die, I can't die, none of these people can die. And you are worried about, you're confused about fighting the war, even though it's your duty and it's the right thing to do in this case, yet you're confused about it because you're worried that some of your relatives may die. That's it, you are attached to them, and you're worried that they may die. So he approaches Arjuna's dilemma from three different perspectives in this second chapter. This is the first perspective, Sankhya. So Arjuna, none of them can die. It's impossible. Because they are the soul, not the body. So he explained that there are three eternal tattva, three eternal existences, and they have been here forever, and they will always continue to exist. One is Brahm, two is Jeev, three is Maya. Brahm means God, Jeev means all the souls, and Maya means the cosmic energy that this world is made of. So God is eternal, the souls are eternal, and Maya is eternal. God is eternal, that one everybody is willing to accept. No one created God. God can never die. He's been here forever. He will always be here. Souls, that's a little surprising for some people if they hear that souls are eternal, because we've also heard that God created the souls. But He didn't create them as if they didn't exist before. He manifests them or sends them forth to be born in this world. But that doesn't mean that we didn't exist before. We were dormant or in a state of pending within Him during Pralaya. Then when Srishti happens, He produces us. He sends us forth to take birth in this world. So that's why we say, sometimes we say God created the souls, but really it's not correct, because we have existed forever. expounds on an axiom, a scientific axiom, by saying that whatever exists cannot be destroyed. If something exists, it can't cease to exist. And if something doesn't exist, it can't be brought into existence. It's like saying energy cannot be created or destroyed. So it means if our soul exists today, it must have always existed, and it will always continue to exist. So souls are also eternal. And Maya is also eternal. Although you might say, but what, this body won't last forever? It's not eternal. Oh, you're right, the body is not eternal. But the Mayic energy that this whole world is made of, and that my body is made of, that is eternal. So Maya Shakti, this Mayic energy which has evolved into this visible universe, and will one day be dissolved back into an absolutely abstract energy, the dormant phase of the Mayic energy. But this energy is eternal. The energy itself was never created and can never be destroyed. But it cycles between creation, what we call creation, which is really just the activated state of the Mayic energy, and dissolution, which is the dormant phase of the Mayic energy. But it's an eternal cycle. It never began and it will never end. The creation and dissolution of the universe. So Krishna says, whatever exists, exists eternally. So no one can die. And he said, Arjun, what you see, these people, you're looking at their body. See that's the, spiritually speaking, that's the number one confusion. That's like ABCDs. Is, am I the body or am I the soul? So if you're the body, then you could die, because your body is going to die one day. But you're not the body. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara. Your body is born, grows old, and eventually perishes. But your soul isn't young or old, doesn't grow, doesn't shrink, doesn't, mature or perish. Your soul is always the same. So the soul is eternal, and it's different than the body. The body is part of the Mayic energy. So it can, the body itself will die when your soul leaves it. But that just means the energy, this energy that is in a solid state right now, it will just merge back into the earth, back into the air. So your body can change from a living thing to just an inert energy, you can say. But your soul can never die. It's always the same. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakah. Na chainam kledayantyapo, na shoshayati maruta. The soul can't be cut by any weapon, burned by fire, made wet by water, or dried out by the wind. It is impervious to material forces or material energies, because the soul is divine. So divine things cannot be touched or affected by material energy. Therefore, Arjun, fight the war, because the thing you're worried about is never going to happen. None of these people can ever die. Just their body can perish, but the body perishing is not a big deal. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. The soul is not killed by the physical death of the body. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnanti navani dehi Tatha sharirani vihaya jirnam nyanyani sanyati navani dehi. When your physical body perishes, it's not a big deal for your soul, any more than is it a big deal for you if some of your clothes wear out and you just decide to throw them out and buy some new ones? Oh, not a big deal. So in the same way, your soul is inhabiting this body. So just like my body is covered by clothes, so when I move my arm, it looks like my clothes are moving, right? But why are they moving? Because my body is making them move. The clothes themselves aren't alive. Similarly, my body looks like it's alive, but it's not. It only has the appearance of being alive because the soul is there. Take the soul out, what is it? It's just going to go back to the earth. So the soul changes bodies. It's reborn. If I'm sitting right here in front of you right now, and in the next minute I die, you'll be shocked. But what's shocking? Just this body, which is just physical part of the earth anyway, my soul left it. And in the time it took you to realize what happened, my soul can already go and take another birth. Although generally it takes some time after the body looks dead, the soul leaves some time after that. But what I'm saying is when it actually leaves the body, it can go right into the next birth. Meaning whoever my mother is going to be in my next life, according to my karma, there's some pregnant lady with a tiny baby growing in her womb, I'll go and enter there. God will say, that's your mother in your next life. Be born in that family. And then I keep going from where I left off in this life. So this is what Krishna is telling Arjuna, this Sankhya philosophy, that you are not the body, so do not fear death. Just do the right thing. If you don't do the right thing out of fear of death, then that is also punishable. You have to just do the right thing, Arjuna. So that was one angle that he explained from. Does anyone have a question about any of that? Yes?
When you are saying whatever karma you do that affects your next life, but whatever happens to next life, it will be again to the body, suffering or good thing.
That's
to
right.
the body, not to the soul. Then how does it affect what kind of karma we do today? It's not going to affect the soul, it's going to affect the body and body.
But the soul experiences through the mind and senses and body. Just think of you. I mean, don't separate yourself. You are your soul. So if you are experiencing right now, you are experiencing through the faculty of your body, but you are experiencing pleasure, pain, all of that.
But at the same time, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, you are going to kill their body, not the soul. That's a confusing part. I'm not clear about that.
He's not finishing their existence. That's what he's saying. If you could kill someone's soul, it means they're finished. You can't finish anybody. You can just kill their body. So the next angle Krishna takes, I believe you came in when I was explaining to the kids, that he was using the explanation of karma. He told him, Hato va prapsyase swargam jitva va bhokshyase mahim tasmadutthishtha kaunteya yuddhaya krita nishchayah. Okay, let me explain it from this angle, Arjuna. It's your duty to fight this war, it's your dharma. So if you choose to fight the war, you may win or you may lose, but either way you win. Because if you're killed on the battlefield, doing the right thing, you'll be rewarded by probably going to Swarga. Or you'll get, because you were doing your dharma, you'll get some good destiny. And if you win, then obviously You'll be happy with that. So whether you win or lose, you win. If you choose to do the right thing. But if you don't, if you choose to ignore your duty out of fear or out of attachment, then you'll be punished for that. You'll get some kind of, bad destiny in your next life. Or you could even go to Narak. Narak is the opposite of Swarg. And in the same way that Swarg is temporary, Narak is temporary. Like a spiritual jail, you can say. So he tried that explanation to Arjuna as well. But Arjuna was thinking that, whether I go to Swarg or whether I go to Narak, I'm still in this Mayic existence. Krishna had told him, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna dukha sukhada samadukha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate. Arjun, this world is full of pairs of opposites. Day and night, light and dark, good and bad, happiness and unhappiness, pleasure and pain, life and death, and they keep fluctuating all the time. So you can never have everything you want all the time. It always keeps changing. If you liked the weather today, it was a nice day, but maybe some of you thought, oh no, it's too hot. But let's say you liked it. But will tomorrow be as good as today? Unlikely. It will either be hotter or colder. So if you like today and tomorrow is colder, then you won't like it. Or you like today and tomorrow is hotter, you won't like that either. In other words, everything keeps changing. The weather keeps changing, our fortunes keep changing, whether it's the stock market or even our relationships, our social standing keeps changing. Who likes us? Who doesn't like us? We can't control all of that. And it's just always changing, up and down. So this is the world, Krishna told Arjuna. It is always going to have these two opposites, and they keep fluctuating and changing. So if you're attached to the outer world, then your feelings are going to keep going up and down with the ups and downs of the world. So Arjuna said, or he was thinking to himself, that going to Swarg or going to Narak, it just keeps me in this field of Maya and keeps me in the field of birth and death, where everything is still pairs of opposites, nothing perfect, no perfect happiness. What's the use of even going to Swarg? If you're just going to come back here again anyway and start over, it doesn't sound like it's not enough for me. I need more. So the karma explanation was quite brief, and Arjuna wasn't satisfied with it. So then Krishna went to the next level and explained about karma yoga. So when he explained about karma yoga, he told Arjuna that you can still do your duty, which is technically a good action, which you would be rewarded for in your next life. But if you do that duty with your mind attached in the world or attached to what you're going to get as a reward from that, then you're bound. You're still in this cycle of birth and death. You're under Maya. So that is not the best thing. The best thing is do the physical good action with your mind attached to God. That was Krishna's solution. And he explains this in every chapter of the Gita in a different way. But the basic theory is presented to Arjuna right there in the first chapter that Krishna is talking, which is technically the second chapter of the Gita. He says, attach your mind to me. Don't have your mind attached to your good or bad actions. Just know what is good and do the right thing, but with your mind attached to me. And mind attached to Krishna means desiring Him. Instead of desiring this world, desire Him. Attach your mind to Him. So any action that is performed with the mind attached to Krishna is called karma yoga. Yoga means having the mind joined with Krishna. And karma means doing the good action. So this is the main central teaching of the Gita, which is presented right in the beginning, but because Arjuna didn't accept it fully, Krishna had to keep re-explaining it many times. In the 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, every chapter, he keeps explaining about Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga takes you beyond good and bad actions, because bad action means you'll be punished in your next incarnation. You're bound by your karma. Good action means you'll be rewarded in your next incarnation. You're still bound to be born again in this world. There's no perfect happiness going to be attained by doing either good or bad. But Karma Yoga goes beyond good and bad actions and takes one to God. Because you're attached to God, so you'll attain God. Does anyone have any questions about that? Karma or Karma Yoga or the Sankhya philosophy?
Is the number of atmas limited?
It is fixed, meaning that there's never any new soul being created by God and no soul is ever being destroyed. So it's a fixed number. Whoever is here is here. But the number, if you want to count them, it's unlimited. That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
Yes?
Would you give another example connected with our lives, that how we can change our karma to karma yoga?
Go ahead.
For example, I have to buy something today. It's at the price of X. I bought it, thinking the Lord will help me. Next day price goes down. What should I do? Should I buy? Or should I be happy? What should be my action?
That's a good question. We have to come back to what the ultimate aim of our life is. So, if we understand that we're like a duality, we have our divine self, our soul, and then this temporary body. So the body has needs which it gets fulfilled from the world. And the soul has needs, meaning happiness, which we're meant to get from God. And not in the form of material blessings, but in the form of inside, getting God's grace that glows like an inner joy. And we get that when we surrender to Him. So if someone understands that's the ultimate aim of my life, to experience divine happiness, that's a whole different perspective than how we normally live our life, where we're focused not only on getting our physical needs met from the world, but also trying to find our soul happiness from the world. And then when we think of God, it's to help us with our worldly things. But a higher level of understanding would be knowing that whatever I have to do in this world for my physical body, my success and failure in that is going to be dictated by my effort, my determination, and my destiny, a combination of the two. Destiny meaning what I did in my last life, I'll be rewarded or punished in this life with failure, success, pleasure, pain. God is involved indirectly in that He gives us the results of our karma, but exactly according to our karma. He's not like whimsical. He's not deciding, oh yeah, let me give this person a boost and let me punish this person a little more. It's exactly according to our karma. So He's not helping us with our stocks or hurting us with our stocks. It's all happening according to exactly our karma. And the reason for attaching our mind to God should be actually to come closer to God and really feel His presence with us and receive His grace in our heart and mind. then you keep that connection with God doing everything you're doing, and you kind of just have this feeling that, God, I know these physical things I'm doing are not going to be the source of ultimate happiness, but since you've given me this body, I have to do something to support it. So to honor you, I'm going to earn a living. You know, I'll be a good person, I'll do my job properly, but why am I doing it? Because I have to keep this body, I have to support my body that you gave me. Just think of it that way. Then it's a way of doing karma yoga, that everything I'm doing, I'm offering to you. But the ultimate aim of life is to attain God. If we don't do it in this life, we'll keep being reborn as we have from eternity until now, until we actually do attain God. So it seems far-fetched to some people when they hear it, that attaining God, but the fact is it's why we're here. It's the aim of life. So we can make some progress in this life and then continue where we left off in our next life, or we can do the whole thing in this life. It's up to us. And either way, we still have to live in the world and work, and most or all of you have family commitments and responsibilities, so you're doing all of that with the understanding that the aim of life is to attain God. So with that understanding and perspective, then we're able to transform our everyday actions into karma yoga that we're offering to God. Thanks for the question. So it's 8:30, we can call the kids and do the arati. Tomorrow we'll finish the second chapter. Krishna answers a couple of questions of Arjun's. One is about, what is someone who has attained God like? If someone has attained God, he's attained perfection, how does he walk? How does he talk? What does he look like? Tell me that. And then the other thing Krishna explains is about why we have desires. So that's a very practical topic that we can all relate to, and that's what we'll talk about tomorrow. So we'll have the arati now.